65 degrees at 7:05 a.m. T-Rex, in order to respect our neighbors who are still sleeping and housemates, we're gonna have to take this show on the road. Nantucket Island, blue sky, and breaking news. It's parade day, and that's not the breaking news. The breaking news is the wind, what the wind is doing or not doing. Come on, Rex, let's go. We're gonna take a ride. Gotta go find someplace more quiet. Little reluctant T-Rex on Beaver Street. Get over to Mariner Way, beautiful hydrangea, red roses. Come on, Rex, let's go. And then we come to the land bank access. And boom, I think we can make enough noise down here, Rex, so everyone can hear me. So the breaking news in the wind department on Nantucket Sound this morning, it's from the southwest at 6 knots. Although it feels all of more than 6 knots right here. And we still have a bit of a smoky sky. What's up with that? We talked about that a couple days ago, those fires burning in New Mexico. And you can see that on the satellite imagery quite clearly this morning in southern New England. And then you have a couple of different layers of clouds across central New England, thick cloud, not really leftovers from yesterday's storms, but new ones that are gonna form today, New York to southern Maine, and then a real clear slot there in north central Maine, and then more clouds in far northern Maine. We are in the beginning of the end of this heat wave. A temperature map this morning. The wind is from the north in central Maine. It's from the south, Boston, to here on Nantucket. And right in the middle, you see that cross with the 72 over 72. That's Portland, Maine. And the cross means there's no wind in Portland right now. And the dew point and temperature are both 72. That is very humid air. And there's a what we call backdoor cold front coming in today. Backdoor cold front means the colder air comes in from the back door. Instead of coming in from New York, it comes in from Maine, and lots of things can happen. Yesterday's severe weather outbreak may be repeated, probably not with the same scope and magnitude as yesterday. Look at all those blue dots. This is a map of the severe weather from yesterday. Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, mostly damaging wind gusts. Western New York, flash flooding. And in New England, we may have a little of each of those today. Look at the vertical azimuth display on the wind in Portland, Maine this morning, just above the ground. The wind is from the northeast up to 3,000 feet, from the northeast at about 15 to 20 knots, and then up around 9,000 feet, it's from the northwest at about 25 to 30 knots. So that's differential advection. That's cold air coming in down below the warmer air. And anytime you can get air to rise, colder air undermining warmer air, or warmer air riding over the top of colder air, or a clash of either of those air masses, you get thunderstorms. And we are going to have thunderstorms today. The guidance has been all over the place with this. Yesterday's severe weather arrived early and more robust than we thought. Pete Bouchard put out this tweet before sunset. Look at that squall line. Mercy me, we've got a squall line and a well-defined outflow boundary with cooler air rushing ahead of those storms. So many of you chased yesterday. Stanley Foreman says Georgetown, Massachusetts, no one was hurt when this huge tree came down on this beautiful yellow house. And then Rob Wright, I think he chased and set up his tripod in Newington, New Hampshire, and he got this severe thunderstorm coming right in here. This is just after it had caused wind damage in Madbury, New Hampshire. So part of that whole squall line. So many reports of severe weather yesterday. Here on Nantucket, we actually get up to 75 to 80 degrees yesterday. But I took the ferry to America, as my friend Joe Pantorno used to say, when you leave the island, going to America. Talk about that in a second. All right, so the forecast today, the Celtics parade 10 a.m. The air is going to be just starting to come in from the northeast at that point. We'll probably have a fog bank come in and thunderstorms developing. Thunder fog is possible in New England today. The storms are going to be heaviest on the edge of the heat, which is in Connecticut now. The National Advisories, Watches, and Warnings map shows the heat still going on all the way up into Connecticut. And then over there in, what is that? South Dakota, that huge area of green and red, flooding and flash flooding going on in South Dakota. And we may get some of that action coming at New England off and on over the next 5 days, really. The front is going to come here and stall, and we're going to have wave after wave of low pressure. So timing and placing the exact thunderstorms is very challenging. If you just look at the Euro, this is a low resolution guidance, but I like the way it kind of just shows the blobs of precipitation coming across New England today. And note the red lines, the thickness lines are still in the order of 570. Time out for cuteness. We've got a couple different things going on here. T-Rex and dogs, they love the smells. They love to roll in the smells. And look at these. Everyone know what those are? Deer prints. So which way is the deer moving? The deer is moving that way. So dog prints, where'd the deer tracks go? Where'd the deer go? Deer was going right over here. So we're tracking deer and dog. Dog or wolf, jeepers. And then there's the deer. The deer go right down to the beach. We've got the air is still moving pretty good right here. There's the stratocumulus fog cloud. I'm thinking that we can go to the south side beaches and not be as windy on Nantucket, but I'm surprised how windy it is right down here right now. Anyhow, which way is the wind gonna blow? I want to show you this map for this morning, 10 a.m. from the Euro, a wider scope here. There's a 1025 high to our north and there's a 1025 high to our south. What is wind? Air moving from high to low pressure. So you've got air coming at us from the south and southern New England, air coming at us from the north and northern New England, and there is the boundary. And that boundary is going to be here for several days. Back to those maps in motion. Tomorrow, widespread showers and thunderstorms. And Connecticut will be hot, and Maine will be cool, and Boston will probably be foggy. I don't know what it's going to do on Nantucket, probably right on the edge, with low clouds burning off the sunshine. And then the heat tries to come back in on Sunday. The Boston 3-day forecast from weather.us actually shows temperatures back near 90 in Boston on Sunday, but there's an incredible degree of uncertainty. And if you go to that weather.us and you scroll down, there are many more data sets, forecast data sets. Wind direction, humidity, pressure, and rainfall, those blue columns and then the steady line over them. The Euro says 2.83 inches of rain for Boston between now and Tuesday. And that's just the recurring thunderstorms. Wouldn't cancel any plans, but you're definitely going to have an eye on the sky. I hope this wind isn't bothering me too much. Can you hear me? I got the camera kind of tucked in against my chest. I'm wearing a headset. I hope I'm not wasting my time. Sets of fronts are coming at us, and the weather guidance for the 3 to 5 day period keeps on changing. Never mind the 5 to 10 day period. So the cooler air tries to come back in again briefly. Now let's widen it out. On Tuesday, there's a little bit of a trough here. And then Wednesday, it tries to come back north. The front goes north of us, and then another front on Thursday. And then next Friday, a couple days ago, we showed this map. Next Friday, with the 582 thickness in New York coming right at us. That would have been temperature close to 100 in New York. And now the same guidance for the same day, but the output from last night instead of 2 nights ago. Look at it. The 546 line is in northern New England with high pressure and cold air advection, and that would put temperatures closer to 70 degrees than 100 degrees. So to say there's a degree of uncertainty is an understatement. Great degrees of uncertainty. Very sticky, dynamic weather. I think the parade for the Celtics is dry. Is it? With maybe an undercast at the top of the Prue. All right, so it's summertime. Yesterday was the solstice. Today is the full moon. We're going to be out there at Hobart. We're going to have a view of the full moon coming up over there. So on a full moon, when the sun goes down, the moon comes up. Close to 8 o'clock. All right, a little bit smoky, kind of foggy, kind of sticky. Going to have a beach day here today. Yesterday on the ferry, I had to go to a gathering of friends for a celebration of life. Celebrate means to remember with gratitude. Everyone that Mark Grimason ever came in contact with, he made an impression. He had so many different vocations and avocations. He was a lumber dealer, but also into music and sea kayaking, and then picked up wildlife photography. And here are some of his photos of wildlife photography in Tanzania in 2017. We lost him way too early. I only knew him for 3 years, but he made a big impression on me. Mark Grimason. I hope you're just looking down on us, admiring all the beauty right now. And then coming back across Nantucket Sound, Calamus Beach, Hyannis, famous for kickstarting the sport of windsurfing like 30 years ago. And it's really evolved. There were still a couple windsurfers out there, but also kites and wing foils. And then getting back to Nantucket in time to see the lynx going out for a sunset cruise. Still very windy yesterday, and it appears to be kind of windy right now, despite that Nantucket buoy saying 7 or 8 knots. So there's a whole bunch and more from yesterday, June 20th. Talk to you tomorrow on Saturday, June 22nd. Happy first full day of celestial summertime. Redwing Blackbirds, making that beautiful sound. All right, now yesterday's and more. Can't stop. Rocking and rolling. The strongest wind was just coming right into Lewis Bay. 2 or 3 foot seas. The wind kind of swirls around the boat, so even though it's been kind of a tailwind, the circulation of the air brought the spray in from that side. Calamus Beach has always been famous for windsurfing. Only a couple left. It's moved on to kiteboarding and wing foils. Watching the construction on next to the service road. This is a new bike path. Beautiful. The service road used to be just a cut through.
Yes.
And now it's a bike path and a golf course. 1 o'clock in Sandwich. I've never been here. Top of Round Hill. We have golf now here. Feels like about 85 outside. New Mark for only a few years lived right next door on Robert Arthur Way. Great guy, warm heart. Way too soon.
Coming in from Texas. So anyway, but it's great to have it all here. I'd like to thank Sean for putting about 5 years ago or so, my brother adopted Buddhism, and it really settled out. He just wouldn't say, so I didn't want to work here, but
Probably from Robert Arthur Way, but I'm not sure. Pretty weeds. Here at the Cape Cod Maritime Museum. Look at that little racer. Hyannis Inner Harbor Water Quality Improvement Project. Got these little wetlands in here. And when they built this berm, I'm friends with the people that own that property, it started flooding their property. And I don't think anything has been done about it.
She goes like this to me. And they're all little.
I love the stories, John.
She said, you
Tips from learning a lot from John, and this has been an inspiring, fabulous 1 hour I have to do every June with John. We've known each other for about 30 years. We spend 1 hour a year together. That was great, John. I really appreciate it.
What is this?
This is Tim Kelly taking notes.
Are you on YouTube?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So all these cars are people that are over on Nantucket. They buy these spaces for about $2,500 a piece. And some of them just buy the spaces so they'll be here. And they just let their friends stay. I'm not gonna drop names, but you're right in the front row for parking. See you, John. Thanks a lot. Right up the road from the hospital. And look at this with the slate roof and the bricks. What is this, John? Someone mows it anyway. That building must have a story. Maybe does some water flowing through it or something. Like water treatment. All right, had to leave the island to find oysters. There they are. Right there. Oysters. Did I ever tell you I love canna lily? I've never been able to grow one. But never say never. Cool. Hydrangeas were in. There's 2 black cats. Yeah. Outdoors, indoors, old school, new school. This is awesome. Thanks. Awesome. It's a really great place. You got to come here, especially if you get ferry a little early. It's cooking, good looking. What are they hoisting out of the catch? You got horseshoe crabs? They do. Yes, they do. Look at them. Horseshoe crabs, and they get harvested and they go back in the ocean after the bloodletting.
My parents are so annoying about it too. They're like, this is
Back to the island bar at sea, leaving Cape Cod, Calmus Beach, kiteboarders, having a ball. All right. (5:15). Summer solstice was 25 minutes ago. The sun, as high as it gets in the sky for the entire year. We start losing daylight a little bit tomorrow. Today, it depends. More and more and more. Oh, there you are. Back up against the pier. High rent district. Going for a solstice sunset cruise, Captain Peacock. Ramming speed, ramming speed. What are you guys doing? Oh, you're putting up some sail. Cool. I see what's going on now. Pointing into the wind to get up some sail. And then I think you're gonna go hard to the starboard right about now. It's my guess. That little gust of wind helping you out. What a guess. I almost know what I'm doing. I heard him say it, Staysel. You're going in reverse, Captain. That's pretty cool. Hey, Caroline. What's the problem? This happened before. I've seen this. 30 out. I'm not sure what that means. I have to look into that. Solstice sunset sail on the links. Perfect breeze for it, isn't it? Again. Windy, windy, windy day. Every day so far this week. Nature's air conditioning. Oh my goodness. Sunset. Anthropogenic weather for sure. Anthropogenic food too. All right. Good night, everybody.